The last stand, humanity's last warship, the Valor, floated silently in the dark reaches of space, surrounded by the alien fleet that had hunted them for months. Captain Aaron stood on the bridge, his hands gripping the cold metal railings, his eyes scanning the endless stars and enemy ships, each one larger and more deadly than anything they had ever faced. The hull of the Valor shivered under the constant bombardment, sparks flying from damaged circuits, alarms blaring, yet the crew moved like shadows, trained to fight, to survive, to hope. The alien ships were merciless, firing beams of energy that cut through the void like lightning. Every hit shook the ship, tearing away armor plates, exposing internal systems. Yet somehow the last human warship kept floating, kept fighting, kept breathing. "Shields at 30%, shouted Lieutenant Mara, her voice sharp, hull integrity failing in Sector 7. Captain Aaron nodded, sweat running down his face. He knew the ship could not take another wave, yet turning back was impossible. Then, a strange signal appeared on the radar, faint but clear enough to grab everyone's attention. It pulsed slowly, rhythmically, almost like a heartbeat. "Captain, you need to see this," said Engineer Voss, pointing at the display. The signal was old, ancient, yet filled with power that made the lights flicker across the bridge. Captain Aaron felt a chill. Something deep inside him recognized the pattern. It was not alien, it was human. The message was broken, words missing, fragments of language lost to time. "Awaken, the whip." "Stars," Mara read aloud, her voice trembling. The crew looked at each other, hope and fear mixing like oil and water. Could this be a trap by the aliens, or was it truly a message from their ancestors? A warning, a gift, a chance to fight. Back Aaron's mind raced. He remembered old legends of a superwarship built by humans thousands of years ago, hidden deep in space, sleeping until humanity needed it most. The alien fleet closed in, their massive forms blotting out distant stars, their weapons firing relentlessly. The Valor shook with each strike, yet the ancient signal continued to pulse, growing stronger, almost as if it was calling to something. It called to Aaron, to every human aboard, stirring something long forgotten, a memory of pride, of power, of hope. "We may be the last," Aaron said, his voice steady, "but we are not finished yet." The crew rallied, each man and woman taking their stations, their fear replaced by determination. Engineers worked frantically to reroute power to shields. Weapons officers aimed carefully at weak points in the alien fleet, every movement precise, every breath measured. Outside, space burned with fire and light, explosions lighting up the void. Yet in the middle of this chaos, the signal pulsed, steady, unwavering, as if it knew what was coming. As the first wave of alien ships reached firing range, a massive explosion tore through the fleet, not from the Valor, but from somewhere far away. The signal seemed to have triggered something big, something dangerous. The aliens hesitated, their formation faltering, and for the first time in months, the crew of the Valor felt a spark of hope. Captain Aaron stared at the stars, his heart pounding. "This is it?" he whispered. "The fight isn't over, not yet." The warship shuddered, sparks flying, alarms screaming. But the ancient message still pulsed, a promise in the void, a chance to turn the tide. Humanity's last warship was battered, almost broken, yet it still floated, still fought, still hoped, and somewhere out there, something older, stronger, and unimaginable was waking up. The attack the alien fleet had recovered from their brief hesitation, and now their fury was worse than ever. Thousands of ships surrounded the Valor, moving like a living storm, their weapons cutting through the darkness of space. Captain Aaron, he stood firm on the bridge, watching as beams of energy sliced past shields and hull alike. Each explosion sent shivers through the ship, yet the crew did not falter. They were humans, survivors, and they knew this could be the last battle for their kind. Enemy ships breaking formation. "They are coming for us full force," shouted Lieutenant Mara, her eyes wide, fingers flying over the console. Engineers scrambled to keep critical systems online. Sparks flying, fire alarms screaming, shields holding at 20%. Called Voss. "We won't last much longer." The air in the bridge was tense. Every heartbeat felt like a drum of war. Outside, the first wave of alien fighters dove toward the Valor, sleek, fast, and deadly. Their energy weapons lit the void, and the crew responded with precision, firing plasma bursts, missiles, and everything. The ship had left, exposed Explosions shook the warship, hull panels warped, and smoke-filled corridors. Yet somehow, the humans fought back, refusing to let fear control them. Then a massive alien destroyer appeared, its size dwarfing the Valor, its weapons capable of tearing the ship apart in a single strike. The captain knew this was it. The end was near. Every crew member braced for the final impact, when suddenly, the alien fleet halted. Their advance slowing as if they had been ordered to wait. "What? Why are they stopping?" whispered Mara, confusion and fear mixing in her voice. The ancient signal pulsed stronger than ever. Bright lines of light dancing across the bridge. The strange, fragmented message had returned. This time, clearer. Awaken. Now. Or perish. Captain Aaron's heart raced, his mind connecting dots too fast to fully understand. The aliens were aware of it too, sensing something they could not control. Something older and far more dangerous than themselves. The alien destroyer fired. Anyway, energy beams cutting through space. But the shots missed their target, diverted as if an invisible hand had blocked them. The crew of the Valar stared in disbelief, some silently whispering prayers, others gripping weapons for a fight. That had suddenly changed. "It's coming," Voss muttered, pointing at the pulsing lights on the radar. "Something huge, something ancient. It's waking up." Panic began to spread among the aliens, smaller ships turning back, larger ones hesitating, and in the chaos, the Valar pushed forward, firing at weak points in the enemy formation. Their attacks were precise, guided by desperation and hope. Each strike scored, each hit counted, and the humans began to feel something they had not felt in months. "Confidence," Captain Aaron barked orders, moving through the bridge like a man possessed. "Target the leads, aim for their engines, don't give them a moment to recover." The crew responded instantly, and the Valar surged with energy, its remaining weapons blazing trails of destruction through the alien fleet. Yet outside, the unknown force continued to stir, something massive moving through space toward them, and the aliens knew it. Then, without warning, a colossal shadow appeared in the distance, bigger than any ship the humans had ever seen. Bigger than the destroyers, bigger than entire fleets. Combined, the alien ships scattered, some fleeing in terror, others frozen in fear. And the crew of the Valar watched in awe, their hearts pounding, by the stars. "What is that?" Mara whispered, her voice trembling. Captain Aaron clenched his fists, staring at the approaching giant. He knew in his bones that this was the answer to the ancient signal, the force their ancestors had left for humanity in their darkest hour. The last warship was still fighting, still barely alive, but hope had returned, and now, something even older and stronger was about to join the battle. The alien fleet, once so confident, now wavered, their weapons firing less accurately, their formations breaking, and in the distance, the shadow of the ancient superwarship grew. A silent promise of retribution, a force beyond imagination, and humanity's last warship was ready to see the tide turn. The awakening signal, the shadow in the distance grew larger, a massive shape cutting through the stars, and the crew of the Valar could feel its power even from miles away. Captain Aaron stood on the bridge, staring at the ancient silhouette, heart pounding. "Whatever that is, it's enormous," he whispered, "and it's human-made." Inside the ship, Engineer Voss was frantically decoding the mysterious signal that had guided them here. The pulsing light on the radar was no ordinary transmission. It was layered, with complex instructions, ancient codes, and something deeper, something that seemed alive. "Captain, it's speaking to something." "Or someone," Voss said, eyes wide with disbelief. "It's a wake-up call, for a ship, a superwarship." The crew exchanged nervous glances, none daring to believe that the legends of humanity's ancestors could be real. Yet every instinct told them it was true. The superwarship, lost for thousands of years, had been sleeping, in the cold darkness of space, waiting for this moment, waiting for humanity to need it most. Outside, the alien fleet had not yet recovered from the sight of the enormous shadow. Their ships moved slowly, carefully, as if afraid of provoking the ancient power that approached. "They know something we don't," Mara whispered. "There." Scared, the bridge was silent for a moment, the crew holding their breath as the signal pulsed, faster and brighter than ever, filling the entire ship with a strange energy. Then, something incredible happened. The shadow moved closer, its engines igniting with a light that burned through the void. revealing details no human had seen before. Massive hull plates etched with strange symbols, weapons that glowed with energy, and a presence that made even Captain Aaron feel small. "It's beautiful and terrifying," he muttered, awe and fear battling in his chest. The signal continued. Two pulse, stronger now, as if the superwarship itself was responding. Lines of light connected the distant ship to the Valor, scanning the crew, the ship, even the surrounding space. It was alive. Not just a machine, but an intelligence, ancient and powerful, awakening after millennia. The alien fleet sensed it too, their panic growing. Smaller ships scattered, while the larger ones hesitated, their weapons fired erratically, hitting nothing. Some turned and fled entirely, knowing that the force approaching was far beyond their understanding. Inside the Valor, Captain Aaron made a decision. "We have one chance," he said. "If we can survive until it fully awakens, we might finally have a chance to fight back." The crew nodded, determination replacing fear. They had survived so much, lost so much, and now the hope of humanity rested on this ancient guardian. The signal now pulsed in perfect rhythm, a heartbeat in the void, and with each pulse, the superwarship's engines glowed brighter, power coursing through it like a living river. "It's ready," Voss said, voice trembling. "It's waiting for our command. Or perhaps it'll act on its own." Captain Aaron knew there was no turning back. The last human warship was battered and broken, but hope had returned, and the ancient superwarship would soon join them, changing everything. Outside, the alien fleet watched in terror, unsure how to fight what they could not even comprehend, and as the first waves of light from the superwarship reached them, Captain Aaron realized the truth. This was not just a ship, it was humanity's legacy, a weapon of unmatched power, built to protect them in the darkest hour. And that hour had finally come. The bridge of the Valor shook with anticipation, the crew gripping controls, eyes wide, as the awakening signal connected fully to the ancient ship. And somewhere deep in space, a force older than any star stirred, ready to fight for humanity once more. The arrival of the stars ahead seemed to bend and shimmer as the massive shadow moved closer. The Valor's crew could finally see it in full, and their breaths caught in awe and fear. The ancient superwarship was bigger than anything humans had ever built, a leviathan of steel and energy. Its hull covered in strange glowing symbols, weapons bristling with power that seemed to hum like a heartbeat. Captain Aaron's hands tightened on the railing. "It's alive," he whispered, almost to himself. The bridge was silent except for the low hum of the superwarship, a sound that vibrated through their bones, even through the metal floors beneath their feet. "This is Saret says, which is our weapon," Mara said, awe in her voice. "Our ancestors left this for us, and now it's here." Outside, the alien fleet froze, their formations breaking, ships turning on one another as panic spread like wildfire. No one had ever seen anything like this, not in any history book, not in any battle report. The sheer size and presence of the superwarship was enough to make even the most ruthless alien commanders hesitate. The superwarship moved with purpose, engines glowing as it approached the Valor, scanning the battered human vessel. Lines of energy connected the two ships, a silent communication that no human could fully understand, but everyone felt its meaning. It was acknowledging them, recognizing them, preparing to fight alongside them. Captain Aaron swallowed hard. "Brace for contact," he ordered. The crew held fast, hearts pounding, knowing that whatever happened next could change the fate of humanity forever. Then, without warning, the superwarship's weapons came, alive, beams of light shooting into space, striking alien ships with precision and power unmatched by anything the crew had ever seen. Explosions lit up the void, the alien fleet thrown into chaos. Smaller ships were vaporized instantly, larger ships broke apart under the unimaginable force. The Valor shook with the energy of the blasts, yet it remained untouched, shielded by the superwarship's power. The AI of the ancient ship seemed to act on its own, its intelligence far beyond human understanding. It moved through space like a predator, calculating, striking, protecting, yet leaving enough room for humans to act and learn. Captain Aaron felt both awe and fear. "It's teaching us, guiding us, and maybe testing us," he muttered. The aliens had no idea what they were facing. Their confidence shattered, their fleets scattered. They tried to regroup, but every move was countered before they could act. The superwarship, not just powerful, it was unstoppable. a force of nature built by humans to protect humanity when all hope seemed lost. Inside the Valor, the crew stared in disbelief. Some silent, some cheering, all knew that this was a turning point. The last human warship had called upon something ancient and terrible. And now, with the superwarship Awake, the tide of battle was changing. Captain Aaron looked at the stars ahead, determination in his eyes. We survive, we fight, and we reclaim our place among the stars, he said. The superwarship pulsed in response, almost like it agreed, and together, they moved forward, ready to face the alien humanity strikes back. Their alien fleet had never faced anything like this. Their confidence shattered, their weapons barely touching the ancient superwarship. Humanity's last warship, the Valor, followed closely, its crew inspired and renewed by the presence of their massive ally. Captain Aaron stood on the bridge, heart pounding. "This is our chance," he shouted. "Strike now, hit them hard, don't let them recover." The crew moved like a single organism, firing with precision, their movements guided by desperation and hope. Outside, the aliens scrambled, their formations breaking, confusion spreading faster than their weapons. Their leaders Mara shouted, pointing at the chaos on the screens. The alien destroyers tried to regroup, but every move was anticipated, countered, destroyed. The superwarship moved like a predator, its massive weapons firing with deadly accuracy. Beams of energy cut through enemy ships, shields shattering, engines exploding in brilliant flashes of light. The humans aboard the Valor watched in awe, their fear replaced by determination. They were no longer just survivors, they were participants in something larger, something unstoppable. Captain Aaron gave orders with calm precision, guiding his crew to strike where the aliens were weakest. Every shot counted, every maneuver mattered. Engineers rerouted power to weapons, shields, and engines, keeping the battered ship alive long enough to support the fight. Explosions lit the void. Alien ships scattered in every direction, some fleeing, some destroyed instantly. The superwarship acted independently, sometimes shielding the Valor, sometimes targeting enemy fleets. Its AI seemed almost alive, making decisions faster than any human could. Some crew members watched in awe, others in fear. "It's teaching us, guiding us, but also testing us," Voss whispered, sweat dripping down his face. The tide of the battle began to turn, humanity's last warship and the ancient superwarship moving as one force, striking with precision, crushing the alien fleets that had once seemed unstoppable. Every human aboard the Valor felt hope, the impossible now within reach. They were no longer hiding, no longer running. Humanity was fighting back, stronger than ever. Yet the aliens were dangerous, unpredictable, using cunning tactics to avoid destruction. Explosions rocked space, ships collided, and even the ancient superwarship had to adjust, dodging attacks while retaliating with unmatched power. The bridge of the Valor shook with each strike, alarms blaring, yet the crew remained focused, knowing that every moment counted. Captain Aaron looked at the massive ship beside them, its engines glowing, weapons blazing. A new humanity had found more than an ally. They had found a protector, a teacher, a force that could change the course of history. "Keep pushing," he shouted. "We can win this. We will win this." The alien fleet began to retreat in full, their losses mounting, their morale shattered. But the battle was far from over. The superwarship pressed forward, relentless, its energy waves tearing through the enemy like a storm. The Valor followed, firing at every opportunity, striking where the enemy least expected. In the chaos of war, the humans realized something incredible. They were not alone, not weak, not finished. Humanity had survived against impossible odds, and now, with the ancient superwarship awakened, they could fight, they could strike, and they could reclaim their place among the stars. Captain Aaron clenched his fists, eyes fixed on the fleeing alien ships. "This is our victory," he said, though the war was not yet over. The superwarship pulsed beside them, powerful and alive, ready to continue the fight. Humanity had returned, stronger, braver, and more determined than ever, and the galaxy would never forget the day they struck back. The new dawn, the battlefield grew quiet. The alien fleet shattered and retreating, their ships burning in the void. Survivors fleeing into the darkness of space. Humanity's last warship, the Valor, floated among the wreckage, battered but alive. Captain Aaron stood on the bridge, exhaustion and relief battling in his chest. "We did it. For now," he whispered. The superwarship hovered silently nearby, its massive hull glowing faintly, engines pulsing like a living heart. It had fought with unmatched power, teaching humanity and protecting them in equal measure. The crew stared, in awe, still unsure if they fully understood what had just happened. They had his fleet, ready to change the war forever, and as the alien ships tried to flee, the superwarship unleashed another wave of energy. Tearing through the enemy like a storm, the Valor followed, their last warship, no longer alone. Guided by the ancient guardian that had waited centuries to awaken, humanity had survived the darkness. But now, with this unstoppable ally, the real battle was about to begin.